So by now, you've probably heard of Start Playing as the place where anybody can find a group to play Dungeons and Dragons or their other favorite TTRPG game. But is it that easy? Doesn't it all sound a little too good to be true? Well, today we're going to actually dive in and see how easy it actually is to find a game, whether it's your first or 100th D&D game. Now, this video is going to be briefly broken up into 3 parts. The first part, we're going to briefly talk about how to start an account and some of the settings in those accounts because they're important. 2, we're going to learn how you can find your first D&D game if you're a brand new beginner and know virtually nothing about Dungeons & Dragons. And then for all you tabletop veterans out there, we're going to learn how to find your extremely niche and specific game that you've been craving. So let's dive in and get started. Okay, this is the StartPlaying.game. That's the only thing I typed into the URL. StartPlaying.games. That's all you need, and you'll come to this page. Now, if you haven't made your Start Playing account yet, it's really easy. In the top right-hand corner where you see this icon, you'll see a login or sign up button. You're going to sign up, and it'll allow you to use either an email, a Google account, or Facebook account. Now, if you click on your little icon and you go over to account settings, this is important. Under your profile, you'll be able to choose a photo of yourself. Put your first and last name, all this stuff, but more importantly down here is your general availability. Now, this will really help later on. And then the other really important thing is the payment tab. So a lot of these games are paid games to support the professional dungeon masters who run them for you. So you can put your payment information here. Now, that's all I really wanted to talk about in terms of your account. Now, what if you are brand new to D&D and you're so intimidated you don't know what kind of game to look for because there are thousands of them on this website? Well, if you look at this blue bar at the top, it says Learn to Play Dungeons and Dragons. All you have to do is click that. And for whatever reason, if this blue bar isn't here, you could also simply go to startplaying.com/quiz. Both of those things, this blue bar or that URL, will take you to this page where it says Learn to Play Dungeons and Dragons. Now, down here, it's basically just telling you that if you look for a game through this avenue, you're probably paired up with other new players, which is kind of the point. And you don't have to worry about character creation. Most of these games are going to give you pre-generated characters for your first time playing. So you can actually just start playing and not have to worry about a bunch of rules. And then here, it's just going to tell you what you need is a computer and a mic. Webcam, in my opinion, is a really good benefit for the Dungeon Master and the other players, but I understand if it's your first game and you're playing with strangers, may not be comfortable for that yet. So it's saying that all you need is a computer and a microphone. Scrolling down a little bit, and under session details, it's going to say games are generally going to be 2 hours long. They may be longer if everyone's having fun. It's only $15 to try it, and it has a money back guarantee. Now, for this specific, this new Dungeons and Dragons player avenue, they have handpicked like thousands of different dungeon masters who are specifically meant to help new players learn the game. And there are thousands of games too. And there's some great reviews here. So now that we've looked at all that, we can actually start the quiz. And the way we do that is by hitting this join a game button. All right, first it's going to ask you how much experience do you already have playing D&D? Maybe you have some, maybe you have none. We're going to act like we're brand new to this game. So we're going to say never played before. Awesome. Again, it's going to say as long as you have a laptop or desktop with a microphone, you're good to start playing, which is awesome. Then, do you want to bring friends? Now, this is my favorite part because half of the time when I talk to someone who wants to learn D&D, I usually have a friend or two who also want to learn how to play D&D, but no one feels comfortable learning to be DM or looking for a game master. So for now, we'll just say just me. But if you add more friends, it will charge you for those friends at checkout. So just keep that in mind. And then it pretty much is just when you are available to play. If there is a time slot available, that means there is a game available. If they say full, obviously there's not a game available. So within the next week or so, they really want you to get started and get playing. So let's say Friday from 6 to 8 or 7 to 9. Let's do that. Hit next, and then we put in our card information, and it has already found a game. And there you go. Learn to play Dungeons and Dragons. And as long as there's an image up in this right-hand corner, that means it's found a game for you. And that's it. You type in your information, you pay. Again, you get your money back if you didn't like the game, and you can copy a link to this game invite and send it to your friends who are also interested in learning. Now, that's really great if you don't know how to play Dungeons and Dragons or you're nervous about finding your first game. But if you are a Dungeons and Dragons veteran, you want to find a game with other veterans with really niche topics and stories, that is just as easy to find. Now, there are two ways you can look for that. Maybe you know a game master who runs games like the ones you want to play. Up in the top right corner, you can hit Find Game Masters. And I found this is also a really great way to play with content creators who you may have seen on TikTok or YouTube and then want to try to play a game with them. Look, Andrew, or aka Mixel Pixel. This is a friend of mine off of TikTok. He's a fantastic dungeon master and he excels at teaching new people the game and really sources around inclusivity at his table. So that's awesome that he popped up here. I highly recommend. But you can go ahead and search by name here. Now, if you don't know a dungeon master who wants to play the very specific game that you want to play, you go to Find Games instead. Now, once we get here, you can see there are so many games and the list will just keep loading and go on and on and on forever, right? Obviously, we'd be here for years going through every single one, which, hey, if you want to do that, by all means. But what'll help a lot is if we use these filters over here. So let's say we wanted to do a one-shot. Or even better yet, let's say we're trying to look for our next campaign. Let's say we want to do a weekly campaign. And let's say we want to do it for either Friday or Saturday. And time limits, let's say those are your days off, so you don't really have a time limit. We can just apply those. That already filters down just from your scheduling. So now you can be like, hey, I'm available for any of these games. Then we can narrow it down even more by going to status, whether if it's a ready to play game, a new game, whatever it is, or by the game system, right? Let's say we want to play more Dungeons and Dragons with people that we're not familiar playing. So Dungeons and Dragons 5e. I love playing D&D with people that I have not played with before. Now this is even greater. Story. Now D&D has a lot of published materials out there and a lot of them are quite popular. So if you go down here, you can even find a specific book that you've had your eye on. So personally, I've never read or owned Curse of Strahd because I'm usually the forever DM. So one day I will find a DM to run me through Strahd. So let's say I wanted that day to be today. I will hit Curse of Strahd. And the setting doesn't really matter since Curse of Strahd has their own setting. So we're just going to hit apply here. Now look at all of these Curse of Strahd games that are weekly campaigns and fit within my schedule. That's huge. You can even go to theme if you want more of a comedy or a dark cosmic horror version. You'd be surprised how many different ways people can play the same module. And then clicking on more filters really just gives everything else you could possibly need. Age ranges of people you wanted to play. If you started playing with dungeon masters and have favorite dungeon masters, you can filter it through that way. Game system, how long the sessions will last, and for what's important to a lot of people, the price range of what some of these dungeon masters are going to charge you. Honestly, through all of those filters, it makes it pretty easy to find the game that is just for you. And that's all there really is. It actually is that easy to start playing with a new group today. There are thousands and thousands of games in StartPlaying, lots of them with lots of empty seats that could be just there for you. So literally start playing today by going to startplaying.games. And thank you to StartPlaying for sponsoring this video. If you have any questions about StartPlaying or how to get started, or if you want me to start running one-shots on StartPlaying, let me know in the comments below. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.